So the cause of depressions or mood disorders is unknown. It is idiopathic. However, there are so many theories that have tried to express their views on what can be the possible causes of mood disorders. Let me discuss the first theory with you. The first theory is called genetic theory. Now, according to the pioneers of genetic theory, they say that someone in which his or her family have many cases of depressions is more likely to suffer from depression as well. So what he's trying to say is that genetic theory says there are some genes that tends to make it easy for some people to be depressed. So there is a predisposition to the mood disorders where genetics is concerned. So that is called a genetic theory. Another type of theory which tries to explain the cause of mood disorders is called biochemical theory. So whenever we're discussing biochemical theory, this theory says or states that there are some chemical factors in our body that if they are disturbed in terms of their production, they might cause or affect or predispose someone to having depression. Let me discuss some examples. We have chemicals that can even act as neurotransmitters, such as noradrenaline, adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin. So serotonin, noradrenaline, adrenaline, and dopamine, these chemicals in those people who are depressed, they are very low in concentration. Therefore, according to the pioneers of biochemical theory, they say that they might affect the cases of depression. So when you have low serotonin, no adrenaline and dopamine, you are more likely to suffer from depression. Another important chemical, which is also known as a stress hormone, is called cortisol. Studies show that people who are more likely to be depressed have high levels of stress hormone, which is called cortisol. You know, cortisol is a hormone which is produced in high quantities, especially in the morning. In the afternoon, it drastically drops until in the evening when it is very low. So studies have shown that the people who have depressions, most of them, they have high levels of cortisol. That is biochemical theory. Another type of theory which tends to explain the etiology of mood disorders is also known as cognitive theory. Now, according to the pioneers of cognitive theory, they say that what causes depression are the thoughts that someone harbors inside. Then they say that you can think your way into depression. And I agree, and I share the same idea with them. It is very true for someone to think their way into depression when they start thinking that no one is going to help them, when they start thinking there is no solution to the problem that they are having, when they start thinking that they are hopeless, they are helpless, and when they start thinking that they are worthless, and everything they do, they just start seeing negatives in everything. No matter how much good things might happen in their lives, these people are only thinking of self-defeating thoughts. So you can think yourself into depression. That theory is called cognitive theory, which states that the most probable cause of depression is actually the thinking patterns of someone. There is also the number 5 type of theory which states or tries to explain the possible cause of depression, and that is called life event, also known as environmental theory. Now, according to environmental theory, the pioneers of environmental theory, they say that the possible causes of depression are the changes in terms of environmental factors. For example, you might relocate to a different place, just like what I said. For example, you might undergo a divorce. Sometimes you might lose a loved one. Sometimes you might your relationship that you chase so much might end. You might lose your job. You might find yourself in different financial problems. So such life events, when they change for the worse, and those environmental changes or factors such as tsunamis or earthquakes, they might cause someone to be depressed. That is according to life event, also known as environmental theory. Another type of theory which explains the etiology of mood disorders is called behavioral theory. Now, according to behaviorists, they say that a person is more likely to suffer from depression when they think that their actions are